Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Talkamania. I'm your host, Desmino, here with my tag team champion partner, J-Bomb. Say hello, J-Bomb. Good. We're still defending those podcast tag team titles, right? Hells yeah, hells yeah. How's it been going with you? You've been having a good week? Yeah, no, we were having that conversation, and it was just felt like something was missing. We're like, should we record more shows? What should we be doing? Because we had such an exciting time experiencing WrestleMania with you. There was NXT Takeover. There's a Superstar shakeup now. But again, yeah, I guess we have that a little bit left of that WrestleMania hangover in the air. Breaking news. Yeah, and we all made it. We made it happen all because of you guys. So thanks for the follows. Make sure to retweet us, follow us, subscribe, everything. On that note, follow us at underscore Talkamania. Make sure to follow us on iTunes, Google Play. Subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your grandma. And we got some merch going on. If you guys didn't see it, check out the Twitter feed. We got some merch coming your way. Really exciting, really cool stuff. So it's something to look forward to. That's for sure. I do too. I mean, it's our followers, the people that have been Talkamaniacs that have helped us kind of grow into who we are, getting us the momentum that we have. So we want to give back to you guys. So we're gonna find some interesting way to do it. We'll give you some details shortly. So make sure to follow us on Twitter, read our feed. We'll give you some news and some excitement for the weeks to come and the years to come and forever, because we're not going away. No. We do. Very sad news that Bruno Sammartino passed away. Really unfortunate. Apparently he was dealing with some health issues. So I just want to send out, obviously, our much respect, love, and regard to the family at this time of mourning. And thank you, Bruno, for everything you did for the industry and for professional wrestling, because you did a hell of a lot. Don't forget, this man holds two unbreakable records. One being the longest WWE Championship reign at 2,803 days, and also and also the longest combined reign, which is 4,040 days. So, a significant time. It was back when the WWE let them hold the belt for years and years at a time. So obviously it was a different time back then, but. Well, I don't know, man. It would have been Cena if anybody, but yeah. But that's some sad news. But again, his memory will live on in all of our hearts. The WWE superstars, and many people are giving their warm regards and tributes out on social media. So it's a time of remembering, not so much of mourning. And yeah, may he live in our hearts forever. Now, on to more positive news. We had a pretty big week this week. I know I was there with you guys on Periscope going over the Superstar shakeup. Thanks for your patience. That was actually my first solo Periscope this week. On Monday, you saw it got a little bit better on the Tuesday. Things are going to get better to come. I want you guys to enjoy it. Jump in, follow us. Just make it happen, and we'll make it happen. And we'll keep growing, and we'll keep bringing you the content that you love. Call Talkamania 3 times in the mirror, and we'll be there. It was a way bigger shakeup, and did they do it the same way they did it, like organically like this, or did they do it like? I think it was the draft. I guess I'm confusing the format of the draft. I kind of thought that they would come out and be like, "This is our pick. This is our pick," but yeah, that's the draft. So I guess I kind of got thrown for a loop there, where how things happened organically, and I really liked the way that it was done. People kind of coming in out of the blue during segments, but it was a very immense shakeup. A lot of changes back and forth. It seems like they went back and fixed some old mistakes at the same time. But yeah, no, I know. Now that I look back, I do remember. So, but again, I do like it. I like it was so interesting. People were complaining about the way it kicked off. Like Kurt Angle had the number one pick, and then the first person that comes out is Jinder Mahal. He is slowly getting better. He definitely drawing the heel heat. The longer hair is a bit better. He is getting a bit better on the mic. So yeah, it wasn't too bad, and I could see him doing some okay stuff on Raw. I don't mind him coming over. I thought it was interesting, and also, folks, remember, like Kurt Angle's not getting the first pick. I think the whole idea of superstar shakeup is like negotiation, and this person comes for that person. And also remember that at the same time, if Kurt Angle did pick Jinder Mahal, doesn't mean it was first. He came out like an asshole and interrupted the segment. So he could have been fourth, sixth, seventh, eighth on the line, and he just came out and made himself known and saying, I'm on Raw now. So whatever. I mean, you guys are thinking too much about it. Which is what I usually do. But yeah, the match wasn't too bad. And again, we had Jeff Hardy facing Jinder Mahal for the U.S. title, and having Jeff Hardy win the U.S. title, awesome, great. It puts Jeff in a different kind of path out of the IC title picture. It allows him to have a title, be a singles competitor, and kind of break away from Matt a little bit more. So I was all for it. I liked it and was happy with the opening segment. Wasn't that bad. I know Jinder Mahal makes you groan, but at least it wasn't one of his promos. And hell, I didn't want to see another Randy Orton Jinder Mahal program. So. Well, I do, and I like the whole idea of having factions again that are more than just a tag team. So I hope they kind of build off of that. Obviously you mentioned Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. I think that was one of the biggest debuts because you had Ziggler come over to Raw, and I was kind of like, okay, cool. It's weird because some superstars to me, they're SmackDown guys. Like we have Ziggler, right? He's a SmackDown guy. Baron Corbin, he's a SmackDown guy. So it's really weird to see kind of Ziggler show up on Raw, but I'm all down for it. I am a Ziggler fan, but I do feel like he's a bit poison, just in the sense that wherever they use him, it's not going to go anywhere. So having him pair with Drew McIntyre really kind of soured me because I'm a huge Drew McIntyre fan. And having him be with Dolph Ziggler to me was, obviously they're going to be together for a while. And Dolph Ziggler is usually the guy they pair with somebody to put them over, like Nakamura came up, Corbin came up. They put them with Dolph Ziggler. They get wins over Ziggler. They do a program with Dolph Ziggler. I feel like this is just stalling that with Drew McIntyre. I feel like they're going to tag together. Eventually, Dolph Ziggler's going to turn on Drew, and then Drew's going to have a feud with Dolph Ziggler, and then beat Dolph Ziggler, and then move on. Yeah, it's going to be the same thing. They're just doing it in a different way this time. Ugh. He is, but that's why I don't know. The only thing that I liked about this was somebody on social media put a picture of Shawn Michaels and Diesel, and then picture of Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Nash beside each other, and it looked very similar. And I was like, "Holy shit, I'm down." But the thing is Ziggler's got to stop trying to be Shawn Michaels because he's not. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Not the perfect way I would have Drew McIntyre in there. Again, we've talked about this before, and you as well. I think it would have been better to have Drew McIntyre be the last entrant on that. Was it a 6-man tag, a 5-man, 5-on-5, 5-on-5? Yeah, 10-man tag. Yeah, it was Bobby Roode. How anticlimactic was that? Even if it was Ambrose, I would have been like, okay, Ambrose is finally back. Yeah, but like whatever. But like, especially as a face. But that's about it too. Like if you think about it, like if imagine he wouldn't have had this theme song, he wouldn't have had this entrance, he would be extremely boring. So not sold, eh? It was, we actually had the second segment of Raw. We had a matchup between the final match, well, the matchup we were finally waiting for between Sasha Banks and Bayley. And I know a lot of us were looking forward to this, but at the same time, I was kind of like, well, really, they're going to do this on Raw after all this build-up? Sure. But I obviously kind of felt like it wasn't going to end up being, there wasn't going to be a decisive winner because they wouldn't have just thrown this on Raw. Or they would throw it on Raw because one of them was going to be going to SmackDown shortly after. So in this match, we saw an interesting switch of stables. We saw the Riot Squad joining Raw, and later on we ended up seeing Absolution joining SmackDown. So I don't know really what the point was with doing that. It just seemed like a lazy move to me, but we'll see. To me, going back to the whole feel about wrestlers, I felt Ruby Riott was a SmackDown wrestler, and so I think she fit the show really well. But, we'll see where this leads us. But I was talking to you about this, or I think I had mentioned this on social media at least, that I like the whole idea of having the Superstar Shakeup, but it would have been really cool also to incorporate matches into the Superstar Shakeup, where you'd have two people wrestling, winner gets to choose where they go. So basically it's like, you won, do you want to stay on Raw or do you want to go on SmackDown? And then there's the anticipation of, oh, what are they going to pick? I'm staying here on Raw. And then Bayley's like, oh, no, I've been banished to SmackDown. Like, it would be cool. I think that would add a little bit more excitement to it. Yeah. Oh man, I'm telling you, if Big Cass starts feuding with Daniel Bryan and gets like, if he gets like the first pinfall on Daniel Bryan, and oh my god, he just shows up. He just showed up backstage. That was his return. He's like, "Hey, you're short. I am tall," and he always has his tights up to hide his belly. Yeah, it's not. It's a bit more. I think he leaned down a little bit, but like, yeah, he's gonna. I'm sorry, but like big guys like this, he's gonna get injured again. Well, I was reading an article and it was funny. So, Enzo, I guess he can survive a little bit on his own, but I think it was more the fact that Cass is an interesting case where he's not really entertaining as a face. He doesn't really do it as a heel, as a solo performer, but then if you put him with Enzo, it was magic. But again, at the same time, I guess it was a lot of Enzo doing that kind of, all the talk, and he did his part of the mic like the New Age Outlaws did. And they kind of had that New Age Outlaws modern feel to it, but obviously Enzo is no longer with the WWE, at least for now. We don't know what's going on with him, or if we'll ever hear from him again. But yeah, Big Cass coming back. I knew it was probably going to be this week, either Monday or on SmackDown. But yeah, he showed up backstage and took it down to Bryan in the main event. Well, to me, he will. He definitely will be. It's interesting. Him and Carmella have broken up, but they put them on the same show together. So I thought that was a bit interesting. Yeah. Mela Celebration. That to me, we were talking about that before we started our podcast, was such a waste of a segment. Because, okay, you could have made it so much shorter, but I'm going to tell you that I'm tired of these lazy segments that are the same thing. So there was two of them. One was Carmella, her celebration. When somebody wins something, they have their celebration. I think it's so cheesy. What was out in the ring? A couple podiums with leopard print on them? What were they there for? What did it mean? It went on for too long. She kind of was a little bit lost on the mic at first. It's the beginning of her reign. I'm sure she'll pick up her footing, and I'm going to give her a chance. I'm sure she'll do well as a heel champion, but I felt the segment could have been used to do a lot more debuts because you had all these debuts flashing and promos, and people weren't on, and it worried me because we have 2 hours of programming and you couldn't even have these people on the show. And we already have a hard time fitting people in. Where are we going to fit these people? So I don't know. To me, it was a bit of a waste of time. You could have been doing more with it. And, going back and saying it was lazy for them to do the celebration, something they always go to. Another one was Shelton Benjamin's heel turn. So when he came out, and then we saw Jeff Hardy debut on SmackDown, right? Which is pretty cool. He came over to SmackDown with the US title. It's back on SmackDown. And he fought against Shelton Benjamin. And it really, considering these two have really good wrestling, kind of, I guess, they're great wrestlers. They put on awesome matches. Their match was eh. It was like they just kind of did the signature moves, the usual spots. It wasn't anything fantastic. I thought Shelton Benjamin should be putting on great matches all the time, and so should Jeff Hardy. But getting to my point, which I keep dancing around, it is Shelton Benjamin. He comes out and he's fighting Jeff Hardy, who's the face, right? Oh no, we can't have that. So let's make him completely turn heel with no basis. Like, somebody hacked my Twitter. Oh, come on. And then what was the reason why he was a heel? Oh, you should give me the respect that I deserve. Like, I hate that shit where people are like, you should respect me. You should give me the respect I deserve. Like, that's wrestling 101. Like, I really hate that. And it makes you look really, really poor on the mic. And Benjamin's been around a long time that he doesn't need to go to that. Very lazy writing. And ultimately, but the fact they tell him to go out and do that, I found it was really lazy. And the biggest thing about that is like, dude, let them fight face to face. And I'm not saying face to face, face as face against face. So like, it should have been a good guy versus a good guy in that match. And you would have had a really good storied match. It works when you have good guys versus good guy matches. I think they shouldn't be afraid to do that in these days. So I think turning him heel was bad. He's going to struggle as a heel. He's not meant to be a heel. Remember when he was the heel, the gold standard? He dyed his hair gold before he left the WWE, and like it just didn't work. Like he cannot be a heel. They already tried to turn this team heel once, Chad Gable and Benjamin, and it didn't work, and they went face again right away. So I don't know. I felt like they did it because they didn't want a face versus a face. I think it could have been face Hardy versus face Benjamin, and even if Benjamin would have lost, it would have been a respectful match between the two of them. So, I only had a certain amount of time. So, but just change some recipes up is all I'm asking. Don't be lazy. Don't cut corners. I hate the whole, like, people are wrestling and then somebody's entrance music comes on, the guy turns around, the guy doesn't come out, and then he gets rolled up. Like, I hate that. Same things always, man. Yeah, great. Great to see. I think that's it. I expect a lot more from them. I just don't like the context. It's like, what's your motivation for being a heel? Give me the respect I deserve and the opportunities I deserve. And what are you, Jinder Mahal now? Like, Jesus Christ. They were a tag. Their tag team kind of took this kind of route where they started kind of being a heel. Then they didn't wasn't working. They became a face. Then a heel. It was they were on that fine line. But I think towards the end they were more face. And so I think they just decided to turn him heel again, or I don't know what it is. But Gable's going over to Raw on that note, and I'm pretty excited for that. As a singles wrestler, we'll see how he fares. He's had some great matches before, really explosive. Love those German suplexes he busts out. So super excited to see how he does. Just we'll see. There's so much talent being injected on both shows. So will they get the chance to thrive? You answered your own question there, sir. I like the Miz going over to SmackDown though. I'm very excited for that. It will make SmackDown so much better. So you probably wrote that down, right? This time? Learn it. They wouldn't have left her in NXT. They would have just left her. Nah, I don't. I think it would have been stupid. I think, yeah, you're right. You're right. I agree with you. It's funny because when he first started, he definitely wasn't this guy. You know, he had like a white, like kind of Charlie Chaplin hat when he first came in, and yeah, he was kind of limited a bit. And like again, he always had the talent, but it's just how he's being used. But yeah, definitely, yeah. Well, I think it happens to some extent, but we will see, of course. But this goes back to my point that some people are just good on NXT and are meant for NXT, and he may be one of those guys. But at the same time, we'll see. You know, he's come up to the main roster. It's exciting. I think he's earned it, and the times are a changing. So let's hope that he does well on SmackDown, and they don't just shove Randy Orton in our face. Another big superstar shakeup for Raw. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn on Monday Night Raw. Huge news. We get to finally hear his theme song, da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, which to me just oozes Monday Night Raw. And not only that, folks, we're going to Monday Night Raw in Montreal, April 30th, which means KO and Sami Zayn from Montreal will be on that show. I'm pretty sure they'll probably be highlighted because it's in Montreal, or at least the crowd's going to be off the chart. So it's going to be super exciting to see. Cannot wait. Awesome. I don't get how Stephanie McMahon forgave him for headbutting his father, but, whatever. Don't think too much about it. I've seen a gift all over the internet already. It's been gift all over. I see like the gif of it all over the internet already. Them jumping around. Friend goals. Mm. They could have been fantastic together. So my question here is, what happens to the Miztourage? Are they going to stay the Miztourage? Are they going to change to the Entourage? Are they going to rest in peace? Yeah. Maybe they'll join. Maybe they'll be the lackeys for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I don't know. And then they'll be the KOization. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, dude, he could be responsible for repackaging them. He could repackage them. If they're failing the gimmicks, Matt Hardy can just repackage them and break them. Yeah. Hey, and they can get Bo. That way, they can get Bo Dallas to join his brother, man. Yeah, and then he turns into a broken, or he turns into a Wyatt or broken bow, and then he broken Dallas, yeah, and then he turns on Axel and then beats the crap out of him because Axel's not gonna be able to be a broken anything. He's a broken man. Yeah, I don't even think so, man. I don't think he can. It's just a giant comb over. Mm-hmm. Worst thing ever. Yeah, it's a pretty big move. I mean, they've already done enough in the tag team division on Raw, so it makes sense to put them on SmackDown. Got some great feuds with the Usos now, New Day, so it can be pretty cool. Looking forward to it. Yeah. Well, on Raw, we also saw, again, if we want to talk about tag teams moving over, weren't you excited to see Breezango on Raw? You feel like they're a SmackDown team? Because me, I feel like they might have a bit more exposure. There's 3 hours now. Remember. The guy went out over the bar. The bar went out off of Raw, losing against Breezango. So, yeah. I hope they finally get a tag team title run. I would love to see that. I know, yeah, I agree with you. So maybe they can reinvent themselves, put themselves back on the map, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, they're picking up some wins here and there against some credible tag teams. So obviously the WWE sees something in them, but they just can't get to that final step to where they need to get for those tag team titles. So we will see. But it's kind of cool when you see teams don't win them. I was thinking earlier, reflecting, like Gable and Benjamin never won the tag team titles, and they just never won them. And I think that's okay. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. But it's kind of interesting. You have these tag teams that they put together, and like they just don't win the tag team titles to come close, and then they just don't get it. And I think that's good because it makes it more realistic that you don't want titles being passed around to every tag team that comes around. Everybody's gonna get it. I feel like the women's championship to some degree also is becoming that. They pass it around to everybody to some degree. Here Alexa Bliss has it. Now Nia Jax has it. Now Carmella has it. Now that it's kind of like they each have their own run. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but Alexa Bliss is like she's not even like she didn't even like wrestle that much when she had the title. So it was more in her promo skills, right? She can actually even wrestle too, but I mean, I guess they just I don't know. Maybe she's tiny. They don't want her to get injured as much. Maybe she was fighting an injury or on the mend or something. I don't know, but yeah. But moving on from that, we saw Natty Hart make her debut on Raw. That was a bit surprising because I always felt Natty was a SmackDown girl as well, but came. Yeah, I'm happy she's on Raw, 3 hour show. She'll be more prominent. A lot of people were saying, retire, Natty. But fuck that shit, man. She's one of the best wrestlers on the roster, hands down. And I know she plays a bit of like an aloof idiot sometimes, but like, whatever, man. She works hard. She does all the fine things in the ring. She plays her character while she's wrestling, the things she says. I like her. Right now she's gone face, yeah. So she's the heel, she's gone face. But again, there's a few things to remember here, right? So she came, Ronda Rousey's now said, hey, great. Well, here comes Rousey to say, Natty, welcome to Raw, and I'm going to be by your side and have your back. Like, yeah, I know. But yeah, then we saw Natty pick up a win against Mandy Rose, put her in the sharpshooter, made a tap tap taparoo. Then she got the beat down from Deville, and then Ronnie Rousey came out, did the save, took down Deville, and then aided Natty. So some things to think about here, right? So it's clear that Stephanie, kind of on the mend. What are you going to do with Rousey now? It shows you they have a lot of trust in Natalya because she trained with Ronda, but at the same time, she's also a veteran. She's been around a long time. So I believe what she's going to do here is pair her with Natalya. They have a lot of trust in Natalya to kind of guide her and help build her. And then eventually, obviously, Natalya is going to turn heel on Ronda Rousey. Then you'll have Ronda Rousey beat the shit out of Natalya, and that's how that storyline is going to go. Yeah, well, that's it. She's a veteran. They trust her a lot. So, again, I completely understand why they're doing it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, too. So, yeah, I'm totally down for that one. Sounds good. My books. Well, I do know what you're talking about, and I guess one of the things you must be referring to is the debut on SmackDown of Samoa Joe. You want to feel this one, or you want me to jump right in? Cool, no problem. The Bar win the tag team titles at the greatest Royal Rumble ever. Sure, anything could happen. They could bring the tag titles over there. They could do something, a switcheroo with the SmackDown titles. It's not going to happen. That's plain and simple. You're going to get a match at the greatest Royal Rumble, but the chances of them winning are very, very slim to none. Look, we saw them lose against Breezango this week, and we see how hard they're pushing Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. It would be very, 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 very surprising if the Bar won over Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. They will win the tag team titles, so I don't think the WWE is really too concerned about that one. So that's my clear answer on that one. Now, when it comes to Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns, yes, a bit more confusing because they've been building this up for quite some time. Samoa Joe made his comeback. He called out Roman Reigns. They've been having some excellent back and forth in the promos. But what happens now that Samoa Joe is on SmackDown? Well, you get excellent matches against Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. But what happens with this Roman Reigns feud? So for me, I mean, you look at it this way, right? You have Roman Reigns taking on Brock Lesnar at the Greatest Royal Rumble coming up in Saudi Arabia. Well, Roman Reigns wins. I mean, regardless of if he wins, he's fighting Joe at Backlash. So I guess that promo can be tied into the fact that regardless of what happens, he will be fighting Roman Reigns at Backlash. So that's coming up. I don't know how they're going to kind of, I guess, do any build up for Backlash when they have people from different shows because they can't appear on different shows, or can they cross over? I don't know, but they're going to be feuding, so I guess you can tie it into that. That match will happen, and if Roman Reigns is the champion at that time, I believe it will be for the title. And on an interesting note, Samoa Joe has been inserted into the Intercontinental Championship match at the Greatest Royal Rumble with Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, The Miz, and Samoa Joe. So if he wins the Intercontinental title, it could be a title-for-title match. But I do believe that the IC title will stay on Raw. Unless you have Jeff Hardy defending against Jinder. The two titles could switch shows. Who knows? But main thing is, you're still going to get the match between Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns at Backlash. So... No, he's defending his title against Shinsuke Nakamura once again. And did we not also get a question? Definitely something they could do. Again, I like the fact they have all of these mixed pay-per-views now because they can do so many interesting things. Now, obviously, they're always going to try to keep a title on one show or the other, although they could probably switch it up for a month or two. But that's it. Again, you painted a pretty interesting scenario too. Maybe Roman Reigns is going to lose. And now I hear rumors at the same time they're going to be building up for Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania 35. So does that mean they're going to wrestle without a title on the line? I'm not sure. Yeah, Bobby Lashley, I'm sorry. I've been watching him and I know. People really knocked on me for not liking the bandana because why did it bother you? It's a bandana. But it's just it does because it does. I mean, he's a bald guy with a bandana. He doesn't have eyebrows. Now he just has one giant eyebrow across his forehead. It's a headband, yeah. And he keeps adjusting it every 2 seconds. It's really distracting for me. And that's just me. Maybe I'm OCD, but and at the same time, his music wasn't great. His wrestling is He has a very nice face, Bobby Lashley, too. He's a good guy. Not saying he's handsome. He looks like a very nice guy. He's a nice, polite-looking face. And it's I don't believe him as being angry. So... He can fight MMA style, but anyways, that's it. I mean, we'll see what he can do. I'm not a huge Bobby Lashley fan. I didn't follow him in TNA, so he could have grown a lot since then. He's only had one match or two matches or one match and one run-in with Elias, but we'll see. It's a little bit too early to tell, and they just injected so many wrestlers now that it's kind of overwhelming. So, yeah. Mm. That's just because you got to start watching it every week. That might help. You get a cookie, a gold star. Mark that in the calendar, folks. Goodness. Great. Cool. Well, if you would have asked me what my favorite my match on the card was, that would be my favorite match on the card. That maybe Asuka and Charlotte, but that one might take the cake. But if you're asking me what my favorite WrestleMania moment was for WrestleMania 35, actually, to be honest with you, the fact that Brock Lesnar pinned Roman Reigns and the ending of that match, the confusion, the blood, the busting him open the hard way, and I think ultimately what it came down to was the unpredictableness of it. We all thought Brock Lesnar was going to win, and we all were left there with our jaws dropped open at the end saying, what the fuck just happened? His head was busted open. He was gushing. People had Roman pegged to win this. They were building it up for a year, folks, a year. And they ended up going with Brock Lesnar. So for me, I remember standing up and actually going, oh my God, yes. But it wasn't like oh my God, I wanted Brock Lesnar to win, because I didn't. But it was like, I can't believe this happened. And I obviously was salty over the whole year that we were leading up to this match, and for the change to be swerved like that. I'm all for being unpredictable, and for me, this is one of the most unpredictable things that I've seen for them for quite some time. So for me, that was the most memorable moment at WrestleMania 35. You just did. Good. Ah, I'll I will jump right in and give you an easy answer. If you smell what I'm cooking, hands down, The Rock. Come on, guys, like the most successful actor, making the most money. He's making all these films. He has a blockbuster coming out week after week after week. He's done wrestling. He's done movies. Done everything. I mean, hands down, The Rock, without a question. Well, here's the thing, though. Well, yeah, I guess yeah, that's true. The breakup, right? But yeah, I guess you could throw John Cena's name in there, but at the same time, John Cena's just entering the Hollywood realm, so maybe he will surpass The Rock. I don't know. I mean, The Rock. I think because The Rock's a bit more handsome, maybe. I don't know what it really comes down to. No, no, no. The Rock, I'm calling handsome. The other one, Bobby Lashley, I said he's a nice faces and he looks like a nice, kind person. He doesn't look mean. Oh, leave me alone, Ted DiBiase. Breakup. No way, you were definitely not. Hmm. Interesting. So to me, I'm kind of curious to see this match with Nakamura wrestling as a heel. We haven't really seen him wrestle a solid match fully as a heel. What's he going to do? Is he going to change his tactics up? He'll obviously pull out some low blows when he can. I'm sure he'll pull one out to AJ Styles during the match. He'll roll him up, and AJ Styles will probably kick out of a low blow or something. Not sure. Maybe he'll win with it. But I'm not sure. I'm wondering. I'm also wondering if they're gonna have Shinsuke win the title as a heel in this match. It'd be confusing because he didn't win it as a face. Having him win it as a heel, I'm really not sure where they're going with this one because again, they really caught us off guard at WrestleMania with the heel turn. We've seen them wrestle in New Japan. WrestleMania definitely did not live up to that standard. They have another chance to do it here on the big stage in Saudi Arabia, which is going to be a big, big, big opportunity. Is it going to be another shit show? I hope not. But based on WrestleMania 34, folks, it might be. So. Oh. Just wait for the t-shirts because they're going to start coming out, folks. So that was the thing we were talking about. Like, what happens in this Royal Rumble? Like, you just get bragging rights for winning the greatest Royal Rumble. You get a championship match. Like, they had a whole long time to think about this, and they really haven't come out with anything. So, unless there's something I'm completely not thinking of that's already been announced, and do let us know, folks. It just kind of is like, well, is it just for bragging rights? No, no, I just like to get faces. That's it. Remember to follow us at underscore Talkamania. Listen to us. Subscribe. Or whenever we feel like it, if we might always be on. Keep a look. Watch our feed. Did you? No. That's why we lost all those followers. Damn. He was just waiting to fit that one in there. Happy Rusev Day.